And you've been doing insurance in Flagstaff for how long?
20 years now.
20 years.
That's
awesome. That is a long time. We'll dive into all sorts of things. But one of the big questions I had right out the gate is, especially with housing, that's what we're related to, and we've seen housing values go up quite a bit. Do people need to be more proactive in connecting with their insurance companies about making sure they're adequately insured, or is that something they keep up with?
Well, we're not really interested in the market value of the home. We're interested in the reconstruction value of the home. So we run I can't speak for everybody, but we run replacement cost estimators on every home that we run. Yeah. And then we periodically update those so that we can not only, the reconstruction costs have gone through the roof.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
And so we've actually gone with the reconstruction cost and then added up to 25% on top of that. Then when you get the extension that comes with the policies at either 50 or 25%, you should have enough to cover the home. We try and make sure you do.
Gotcha. Do you ever see that comes like totally short or no?
No, I have not, because we run those replacement costs. And when we do that, in theory, the company's going to be on the hook for the replacement cost because it's their replacement cost estimator that we run.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And with everything that Flagstaff has had going on, I mean,
we've seen everything
in
the last few years. There's fires, there's floods, we've even had earthquakes. And
really? Have you had some claims on earthquake?
I have not had a claim. I've had people have some damage, but it didn't meet the threshold.
Okay.
So not a big problem out there, but it is there. We've got a volcanic mountain here.
Yeah.
So anyway,
wow. And so questions with it. And sorry, I'm just gonna
ask
away and fire away on so many different fronts. Because with the floods, right? Because that's the tricky part is people don't know. Like when we're doing a home loan, we will run a test or we'll look for the. Now I'm forgetting what that's called, Jessica. Flood certificate, right? We'll get the flood certificate to see if it's in a 100-year FEMA floodplain. Because it's in a 100-year FEMA floodplain, we as a lender are going to require flood insurance. If it's not, we don't care. And there are, believe it or not, with our 7,000-foot mountainous town, we do have 100-year floodplains.
We got some serious flood problems.
Yep, through the Rio de Flag and that type of stuff. But the houses that have been flooded recently due to the fires and the erosion on the mountain, those are not in, or haven't been, right? You know better than I would, but those are not in 100-year floodplains.
No.
It's just due to the fire erosion.
It's just the fire and the resulting runoff from those fires. There's been some serious flooding out, say, in Doney Park area.
Yeah.
And then the county has come in and made some changes to the flood system, the runoff system.
Yeah.
And they've actually kind of diverted it to some other areas that didn't have problems before.
Oh, shoot.
So now out towards Slayton Ranch, you've got flood issues where you didn't have those before.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens, and some of this, I'm sure the folks that are in affected areas are probably much more up to know already with what's going on there with insurance, so forth, but possibly folks considering buying in those areas. How does that sit? Because that's not then FEMA backed. So are they able to go get private flood insurance? Because a traditional policy doesn't cover that, right?
No, you can get FEMA flood insurance out there.
Oh, you can?
You can get a FEMA policy.
Okay.
But there's also private flood insurance. So you got those two different options. Yeah. Typically, private flood insurance is a lot less expensive.
Oh, it is.
Than going through FEMA.
Okay.
But FEMA's been around for a long time, and the private flood insurance is relatively new in the last few years. So I'm just now starting to write the private flood insurance because I have confidence in the companies. They've been around for long enough now.
Okay.
But out there in those areas that are not designated flood zones, you really got to also look at the history out there. If I lived in Doney Park, say the upper side of Doney Park towards the mountain, I would probably definitely carry flood insurance for at least a few more years so you get some growth back on the mountain.